Will Kyle Busch be driving for RCR in 2023? Kyle Busch's landing spot for the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series season has become hotly debated. But regardless of where he ends up, he may have his most successful year to date. Does the opportunity that has arisen at RCR due to Reddick's leaving is the most desirable one? Is there any possibility of a partnership between Richard Childress and Kyle Busch? So, hello everyone! Welcome back to NASCAR Zone. In today's video, we are going to discuss if Kyle Busch will be driving for RCR in 2023 or not. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss any of our amazing videos. People on social media and Reddit are talking about a theory that says Kyle Busch will drive for Richard Childress Racing next season. However, this can't happen unless some people switch places somewhere else. In this case, we start with the very likely idea that Kurt Busch will leave 2311 Racing after one season. After getting into an accident during the qualifying session at Pocono, Kurt Busch was eliminated from the NASCAR Cup Series.
Up in that resin in that second groove, and that was a interesting angle that he hit the wall.
He gave up his spot in the playoffs, which means he probably won't be back for Darlington and probably at least one more race after that. Okay, here we'll disrupt you and want to ask a question. Did you ever expect Kurt's comeback after this accident? Tell in the comments. It is not a great leap to suppose that the symptoms he has been having that are similar to concussions will convince the 2004 Cup Series champion to hang up his helmet and retire. That would leave an open position in the 2311 car. But it won't be filled by Ty Gibbs because his grandfather has other intentions for him at Joe Gibbs Racing. The job will go to someone else. The news made by Tyler Reddick in the summer that he will start driving for 2311 Racing in 2024 has been regarded as the most seismic development in NASCAR throughout the entire year. His transaction astonished and infuriated the RCR club owner, and now both parties must complete their contract during what is shaping up to be a very difficult 2023 season. Well, there is a solution to that in the theory that puts Kyle Busch at RCR. Richard Childress will allow Reddick and 2311 to buy out the final year on his contract so that he can get started with his new team next year. This is so that Richard Childress can land Kyle Busch as a driver for RCR. Nobody really knows how much cash there is going to be, but Childress is madder than a bull tied to a milking machine and wants something to let one of the season's best drivers go. So what can be the strategies of Childress for his team considering Kyle? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. On the other hand, the rumor claims that Childress already has a replacement driver in mind, which means that he cannot set the price so high that it completely affects the entire scenario.
A lot of thought, and it's more than just about one person. It's about a team.
I've learned to never say never, but the chances of Kyle Busch and Joe Gibbs Racing being together for 2023 lessen every night that the two-time Cup Series driver goes to bed without a new deal. I've also learned to never say never about anything. At this point in time, it's possible that the relationship has broken beyond the point of no return, and both parties would probably be relieved to see the other one go. The one and only other Toyota team is going ahead and signing Tyler Reddick to fill the driver's spot left open by Kurt Busch, despite the fact that Toyota would very much like to keep Busch in the fold, particularly because they have a successful working relationship in the Camping World Truck Series. By the way, that's one of the last times you'll raid Camping World, because Craftsman is going to reveal its plans to become the 2023 sponsor of the series this weekend at Daytona. The opportunity that has arisen at RCR due to Reddick's leaving is the most desirable one, and a partnership between Richard Childress and Kyle Busch is possible. Busch is able to satisfy his desire to no longer drive for Joe Gibbs, which was one of the primary motivating factors in the owner's decision to swap a future champion with a competitor who already possesses the hardware.
At that time, NASCAR passed a rule while he was running in the Craftsman Truck Series that said the minimum age is now 18 to run in one of the three national.
What do you think of a partnership between Richard and Kyle after Reddick left? Is it the most desirable one? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. there is still the question of tying up loose ends, even if any of the scenarios described above truly sounds plausible enough to occur. This involves determining whether there was ever any truth to the rumor that Khalid Racing was going to win the Kyle Busch sweepstakes, but was beaten out by Chevy in the competition. The next driver to take over for Busch at Joe Gibbs Racing is a shoo-in. Executives at that company had previously stated that Ty Gibbs would compete in the Xfinity Series for one more season before being promoted to the Cup Series. On the other hand, nobody believed them back then, and nobody is going to trust them now. Since then, Gibbs has been filling in for Kurt Busch at 23XI Racing, and he has done an excellent job of it. There is no use in continuing to have him compete in the lower-level series. The second issue is how much money should be given to Kyle Busch. JGR has had a year to find new sponsors for the number 18 Toyota, and it looks like they have been unsuccessful in doing so. How then could RCR put together a package in such a short amount of time? According to the confusing theory, Chevy would write a check to bridge the gap for whatever race sponsorships Richard Childress is unable to sell. This would replace the gap for whatever race sponsorships Richard Childress is unable to sell. The argument suggests that the manufacturer would jump at the chance to have a huge racing name associated with its brand, despite the fact that Busch has a reputation for not being very likable. In addition, Chevrolet most likely receives a response to its phone calls to potential sponsors a little bit faster than Toyota does. At that point, the only thing that remains to be determined is what will happen with Kyle Busch Motorsports, the driver's truck series operation. As part of the deal for Busch to drive for RCR, Chevrolet would replace Toyota as the driver's primary competition vehicle. This would provide Toyota the opportunity to recruit further up-and-coming drivers into its driver development program. According to Adam Stern of the Sports Business Journal, Richard Childress Racing, RCR, has emerged as one of the frontrunners in the competition to sign the two-time Cup Series champion. RCR operates two race cars at the moment, the number 3 driven by Austin Dillon and the number 8 driven by Tyler Reddick. It is expected that Reddick will part ways with the organization after 2023 to join 23XI Racing. However, in the event that Busch decides to join RCR,
in any of these conversations, whenever you go into negotiations, it's never fun, so you're duking the whole time. So
there is a good chance that the team will enter a third vehicle to compete alongside Reddick and Dillon. The second team still running for Busch, 23XI Racing, is owned jointly by Michael Jordan, a basketball Hall of Famer, and JGR driver Denny Hamlin. The greatest option for Busch would be to race for 23XI Racing if he wants to remain in the Toyota stable of teams. He stated that if sponsorship happens, it happens. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So long. Since then, he has changed his tune and stated that he is willing to take a pay reduction in order to remain with JGR. However, he has also acknowledged speaking with other teams and has stated that he has had many offers. Richard Childress Racing, Stewart Haas Racing, and Khalid Racing have all been mentioned as possible destinations for the two-time defending Cup Series champion. Considering that a significant shift is on the horizon, Busch might be open to the idea of joining a different organization in 2023. It is possible that Busch may have one of his most successful seasons to date in 2023 if he chooses to join a new team for the upcoming season. What do you think of which team will Kyle choose? Let us know in the comments below. And that's for today's video. We sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a like and share it with your friends and family. Let us know if you have any questions or comments in the section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more of our incredible videos. You can also watch our other videos that have been specially selected for you. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.